Alrighty, I think we are officially live. Welcome in, everybody. It's season 10. I know it's been long because of the holiday, but we are officially here. Very exciting. Let me know if you can hear me. It's been a while since I've done a stream. I want to make sure my settings are correct, and I don't want to talk too much. So let me know if you can hear me. You can hear me? Perfect. Is it okay? Season 10 starts soon. Let's go. We are here. It's season 10. Lovely. We got some DJU on the screen. I'm just going to give it a couple seconds. Okay. So, a lot of disclaimers to start. If you're here to see your team and you're going to be a lot lower on the list because I'm going to go alphabetically pretty much, this is all going to be streamed on YouTube afterwards. Or not streamed, but posted to YouTube afterwards with timestamps. So you can just go and check your roster anytime you want. You just go to the description and click on whatever the timestamp is, and it'll automatically take it to that point in the video. So we're going to get started here. Now, the first thing I want to let you guys know, we have a lot of new users. This is your first stream, so this is kind of how it works for normal streams and game days. We allow anyone in the server to create ads or halftime advertisements. So if you see on the bottom line, you see the your ad here. If you want to submit something, just DM me it and I will put it down there. A couple of tips: use bold and use bigger fonts because I have to shrink down the pictures a lot of the time, so I want to make sure you can actually read them. But we encourage ads about pretty much anything. Regular rules apply, try not to cuss and that sort of stuff. And then halftime ads will cover the full screen if you'd like as well. And yeah, you can ask Dogwater for templates if you'd like. But I'm going to remove these for the roster stream at least. Just wanted to show you guys. So if you have interest in graphic design or anything, feel free to submit to me or any mod, and they'll get it to me before the streams. As always, anything I do is TCS network related because that's my brand. So yeah, we're going to leave it up. Now, before we get into everybody's roster, there are some more disclaimers that you need to know. Is that, one, I will not be editing anybody's number. I only do that for SFA players and preferably only quarterbacks. I will not edit any accessories or change them from black to white. That's all dictated by the game, and Revamped has done a great job in giving us variety and created players that way. All of your depth charts are automatically sorted for highest overall to lowest overall. So if you would like for me to make a depth chart change, especially for new coaches in year one, I doubt you will need to make any changes. You got to let me know and give me a good reason. I'm not going to edit your backup depth chart for your offensive line, for example, because if I have to do that for you, I have to do that for every person, and it's only going to delay the season. And what else? Oh, yeah, and then post your playbooks in the playbook channel. There's been weeks and weeks and weeks of you guys talking in there and random stuff, so I'd recommend everybody to start posting right now so that I have a long list of ones I can just insert before week one. And please do not talk in that channel unless it's to submit your playbook. Talk in any other channel, please. And then finally, as you're going to see in a lot of the rosters with SFA players, is that anytime I add players in via the editor, a visual glitch happens when I go into them. So they may seem like they're 1 or 2 overall off, but their actual ratings don't change. I've checked this and confirmed this multiple times in the last few seasons. So you may see Chandler Jones, for example. He'll show up as an 88, but he's actually an 87 in the editor. So yeah, that's an issue. And then I think that's pretty much it. We'll go ahead and get started here. This is going to be a long, grueling stream. I don't expect anybody to stay for the whole thing. Props if you do. And I am going to take a few moments before each team to write down the timestamp. That way it's easier for me. And so first up is going to be Arizona. And I'm going to go through every roster exhaustively and kind of point out anything I see. All right, so Arizona, this is Coach Dogwater. So first one of the season. Right now, the game has Jordan McLeod as your starter. That is not my decision, but I can change that if you'd like, Dogwater. I'm not going to do it during the stream. Just DM me. I won't change anybody's stuff during the stream. Gunnar Cruz was the quarterback last year. As you can see, I want to point out the speed difference. You got Will Plummer and Mario Jones, sophomore. At running back, you got Jalen John, Rocker, Huffman, Bowers, and Dale Foster. You've got Charles. Wide receivers, Majon Wright, Jalen Johnson, Jaden Mitchell, Jonathan Talley, Reggie Palmer, Aaron Pugh, Phillip Williams, Bruce Hunter, Ed Hamilton. I'm not going to answer any specific questions during the stream. Just DM me and I'll send it to you afterwards. So actually, Alan Lazard is going to be your second one. Also, if another thing I want to point out, if you see one of your freshman SFA players is not a freshman in the game, I believe I got all of them, but I may have overlooked one or two, so let me know. So he's going to be your backup, and look at that, he's 88 speed. Left tackle, you only have one, Bubba Hall. Roland Fullwood, Aaron Murray. So the offensive line's not looking too hot to start. Like I said, the game decides it because I go over lots of freshmen on the edge. But yeah, so not a lot of... so Malik Reed, your best player, is a senior. Stooks, Jermaine Ryan. So this is not the best... Oops, hold on. So this is not the best roster. I'm a little scared for Arizona. You got a guy named Bo Slaughter. That's fun. Maldonado, Jaden Young, Terrence Torres, Jackson Turner. And then this is what you're going to see. I delete. If you get kickers and stuff, I automatically delete whoever it is that was there. So you got, so otherwise your guy's going to get cut. So Sebastian Janikowski, he's a 78. I will show off his ratings just because it's a kicker. 90 kick power. So that's what you're kind of looking at to start. And then Spencer Lanning. And let's see his ratings. 83 accuracy, so he's more accurate. So those are your freshmen, so you're good there. So yeah, there's your roster. So Arizona's done. Now we're going to go through all the people who I've set as users first, okay? Now Arizona State, ASU, this is 850. All right. So ASU, they won the Pac-12 last year. Jared Lorenzen, 92 overall as a sophomore. He got a lot better. Coach Rick used developer on him. You got Jalen Daniels still as a backup. Finn Collins, a junior, and a new freshman, Matt Davis, that you can probably groom. Daniel Nagata, 88. Wide receivers, Chad Johnson Jr., Johnny Wilson did go down this season, but still a really deep wide receiver core. Conyers had a good year last year. Taco Fall is the freshman, and look at him. He is 7 feet tall. 92 at the left tackle. Left guard, you got Scott. Because these rosters were before he transferred in real life. So ASU's looking to repeat. They're looking pretty good. Remember, slow down the video if you're watching it over if you need to. Curtis Lofton, SFA player. He's a 77, but he will take over after these two guys leave this year. And then SFA player Luke Bowman will be in the slot. And then Armani Sanders is an SFA player. Luke Nixon, Anthony Miller, he got via Tamper last year. You got Roberto Aguayo, 81. He got up to 87. And then his returning senior. So Arizona State is done. Baylor, number 3 team in the country. Let's take a look. So this is one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about, is that if you need me to start a different quarterback, because Baylor, he has a QB controversy. He has Teddy Bridgewater, 98 overall, but then the 5-star Colt Brennan freshman. So if you want me to start a new quarterback, you have to be okay with me tanking their awareness down so that they're lower overall. Otherwise, the first second that Colt Brennan throws an interception or has a few incompletions, the game pulls him and puts in Teddy Bridgewater. And then you'll be splitting reps all season. So just keep that in mind. It will lower your guys overall, but if like Colt Brennan got hurt, I would then raise Teddy Bridgewater back up to a 98, right? So, but he has Teddy Bridgewater in his senior year, Colt Brennan, the stunning freshman, Kyron Jones, who had a really good season last year, and Dominic Parker, obviously. Now, running back, we got Tay. This is another situation where Flame has to make a decision, because you got Tay McWilliams, Jordan Jenkins, and then the number 1 prospect in the country. I will show his ratings off here. This is the number 1 prospect from Season 9, Braylon Burnside. You got Clinton Ross and Jason. Fullbacks, not much. Elijah Bean and Chet Doge, the SFA player. Eric Ebron, one of the top players in the country. He did get a little worse on the offensive line. Cameron Fleming, SFA player. Yeah, your running backs are good. Carver Kemper. So right now, he's not starting. Nate Jefferson, Shad Boyko. I would recommend that we start him. He is the best player on your team, despite the overall. James Ray starting in the middle. Got Cabral. Kalmus, Rocky Kalmus, last year's player. He's starting now. Fortunately, Joe Hayden and Josh Berg are at the bottom here for you. Adrian Amos obviously is back. And Jamal Okiki the 7th, the freshman All-American, he's back. And then your kicker still sucks. And your punter really sucks. So Baylor's done. Now we go on to Buffalo. Like I said, I'm going to take a second to write down the timestamp so it's easier for me. Quarterback, obviously Arch Manning. He's up to an 82 overall. Garza is an SFA player as well. He's not even the backup. Halfback, Apollo Ames, looks like he's losing his job. Ty Schultz had a massive growth in year 1. The 4-star SFA in-game recruit, Calvin Tyrell, 80 overall. Randall L., he's buried on the depth chart. And then you got Eric Decker, buried on the depth chart. So, very deep wide receiver room. Tight ends, not so much. BJ Stabler is starting at center. That's a new player. Then Preston Time. Michael Morse, the freshman All-American at left end. Right end's a lot worse. Folsom's back. Elevate is back. Housy's back. He got a season-ending injury. Patrick Carey, some reason his favorite player is a 71. Housy, and then George Jordan. He's starting in the slot now. He's not buried on the depth chart anymore. And then new starter Eddie Piper, the freshman, and then obviously Barney Fish. He's starting. Brad Means, and you got Chad Wynn. So there's Buffalo for you. Now we go on to my team, ECU. This is, I mean, I'm never going to need it for the roster video, but this is so I can flex on you hoes. So, fortunately, the team went down to a 91 on offense, but Bo Wallace, his redshirt senior season, he's going to be a beast. 88 overall. Dak Prescott will start next year. I got Kirk behind him, so I kind of have a nice thing going here. Halfback Storm Johnson, the senior. He's one of the 99 over speed guys in the league, but he's an 84 overall, so I'm not expecting too much out of him except maybe on a game day. Heimlich Heisenberg, the man, the myth, the legend, only up 1 this season. He got all of his boosts in jumping. Randy Watson up to a 90. Arnie Ronaldo. The freshman Jackie Claude. Offensive line is actually really stacked because I've used Tamper. I got Daniel Williams for Tamper. And also, I've waived all transfer red shirts in this game, so they are all starting. J.J. Watt's up to a 90. Vic Beasley, this redshirt senior, is actually going to play. Nice, we got somebody rating. That's cool. I've never gotten rated before. What's up? Leslie Stirrups. Jordy Drake. Sua Cravens. I'm a little worried about my corners. Not going to lie, I need to recruit there. Junior Jabby, he's starting as a freshman. Oops, let me go back. And then Deion Buchanan starting, and then Clint Kubiak is going to start. He's going to start at quarterback. And then Luke Larson. Yo, we got 22 people watching. Welcome in. I don't know who is doing that, but yeah, we're just going through the rosters for Season 10 of the SFA. Now on to Georgia Tech. So GT. This is going to be at 17:55. Joe Webb, the freshman. See, this is an instance I had to lower Schroeder a few overall so that Joe Webb is going to be the starter. Kind of the story of what we're going to go is if your backup's forced to go in, it's because they weren't prepared and they kind of played poorly, right? But if he's forced to be the starter, then I'll raise him back up to where he was, and you know, he'll be like the 82 that he was, right? But yeah, so this is the quarterback room. Running backs. Wide receivers. DJ St. Julian is up to a 79. If you are just joining us, I guess we have a lot of viewers now for whatever reason. This is the SFA. We're an online dynasty ran entirely through Discord. You can join the Discord through the link on my channel if you want to coach a team. We're just about to start Season 10, so this stream is just me going through everyone's roster so that they can see them. So nothing crazy is going to happen in this stream. I know that I already showed Georgia Tech his roster. He's already made his depth chart changes, so he is good. A really bad kicker. And now on to Iowa State. Ron, welcome in. 1945. All right. Quarterback Kiko Strong, the sophomore. He's a beast. up to an 87. He's maybe a dark horse for the SFA Player of the Year. Juwan Harvey's up to an 88. Mo Alley Cox is a 90. He did not improve at all, which is kind of unfortunate. Houseway actually got some improvement this season. Stephen Moore comes back. He's still your top dog. Here are your linemen. You have no left guards. Remember, the game will automatically put the highest overall guys at the position, so you don't have to worry if there's more at one position than at another. The game understands. And then we are going to see his Tier 5 tamper, Vinny Sunseri, 97 overall. He stole him from Notre Dame. A big pickup. Alec Ogletree, which is last year's tamper, he's going to be the top dog there. Honestly, your corners are pretty trash. Emmett McKinney, though, he's still holding on at a 70 overall. Harrison Smith, 89. So, yeah, there's Iowa State. Kansas. Think. Your team. He's going to get week 1 of game day. Let's take a look. Kyle White, he's been on 4 teams, but he's never seen a snap. He's was on Notre Dame. He transferred to Western Michigan, but got yoinked to Coastal Carolina, and now he's on Kansas. So he's going to be the starter on week 1 game day. We've never seen him play. Conrad Harley, Ben Easters. At running back, you got Hishire, Neal, and Eddie Dove, who is an 83. But he's not starting, it looks like, so you might want to redshirt him. At wide receiver, these are your wide receivers. Now, note, obviously, that J.J. Justice isn't here because he's a cornerback first. On your depth chart, it puts him at like a 73 overall because it kills his awareness, but I feel like he wouldn't play like that, you know. So if you want to put him on the depth chart, let me know. Here's what we're looking at. Terrible offensive lineman. I think that might be a main priority for Fink. He has one good senior there. Or two. Okay, so the right side of your line is good. Defensive line, lots of seniors on your line. But where the real strength of his team is the 6'10 sophomore David McCormack. He got added in from March Madness. He's up to an 88 now. And then cornerback, here he is. So obviously he's an 80 overall, but the visual glitch is up to an 81. But yeah, 90 speed overall. I'll show you him. He's a 5-star. Really good press corner. So pretty much perfectly matches his player card. Here's everybody else. Your free safeties, and then Patrick Chung will start for you at strong safety. And then kicker, you have a freshman and a freshman punter. Yeah, there is Kansas for you. Michigan State. Remember, any depth chart changes, I need DM to me. I will not do it on stream. Otherwise, this will be a 6-hour stream. All right. McNasty at his new job. He has Hamp Fay for 2 years, it looks like, which will be nice. At running back, McBurnfinger is a 78 overall, so he will start over all of these guys, and he's a freshman. Wide receiver, you have freshman Bradford Blazer, who's a 5-star. This is a player that he actually made when he submitted him, and it somehow landed on the team that he went to, so that's awesome. But he is the 5th wide receiver. Really good receivers. Tight ends looking nice. The problem for MSU is probably on their offensive line and the fact that you're in the best division in college football. So, yeah, this line's not going to cut it. I think MSU is going to get bullied up front. Let's see the defensive line. All right, really good in the middle, so that's good. Some nice. So for year one, Banks is not going to start at middle linebacker. So year two, he'll start at both running back and linebacker. Or he could choose to have him start right outside linebacker. I think that's actually what is happening with that. Aqib Talib, he got in the transfer portal. He's going to be a nice guy to build around. You have 3 seniors graduating, so that was a big pickup for MSU. And make sure to slow it down and look at all the years so you know kind of where you want to recruit. Remember, the game will recruit their own class for you, but at key positions you may want to have your impact players. Now, Minnesota. Minnesota might be a dark horse pick. Trayvon Boykin. Jamison Crowder, it's his backfield now. Brockington, so this is where it gets crazy. You got Metal, then you got Oates, who's never played. You got Chad Johnson, Emilian Hester, so he's stacked at wide receiver. Wakiki, freshman. No right tackles on the roster, but he'll put the highest overall guy. Sean Oakman will have his senior season. Iceberg Cave. Middle is kind of eh. 5-star from last year. Shaquan Bowser only got a like a +4 this season. Clutch Bear Cave reward here. AJ Klein, 83. Calvin Pryor is an SFA player. Tyrell Keys, who ended Garrett Grayson's career last year. Free safety. And strong safety. Kicker. And punter. Alright. So on to the next one. We got Southern Miss. It's 27, 25. Alright. So, quarterback, D. Dowis. This is another situation where I tanked the overall of this guy. As you can see, is 45 overall. If he wants to start him, just let me know, and I have a full spreadsheet of any player I edited. So, I'll just put him right back up. Frank Gore right now is in the number 2 spot, which means he's still going to be on the wing in the triple option offense. Ray Rice. Fullback, Peyton Hillis. I want to just showcase what this monster looks like. I have the neck roll and everything, so he's going to be a monster. I love Peyton Hillis, one of my favorite players. Zay Franks. So wide receivers probably won't get much action. Tight end, probably not going to be involved on much. Here's all the offensive line. Pretty good ends. So they could be a dark horse to win the Sun Belt this year, but I do think there's a few other teams that are a little better if you looked at my predictions. A nice little linebacker here. And then we have one more SFA player coming up, but I want to make sure I go through every player per request by everybody. Amari Snowden, he's going to start for you. And I'm hoping I'll do a practice stream tonight. For Kansas. Okay, here we go. Tennessee. Alright. Alright, Nick. Since you asked kindly. I'm not changing anything, though. Louis Shire's 91. Same kind of crap. He sucks. Big awareness. Terrible injury. You know, that's the deal. Cardell Jones, 90 speed now. A lot better injury. There's his throwing stats. Let me know who you want to start. If you want Cardell to start, I have to lower Louis Shire's injury, or his awareness. So let me know. One of the only 4.99s this season, Jalen Wright. He went up, I think, plus 10. You lost Eddie Dove, obviously, to the transfer portal. Wide receivers, Jimmy Callaway, Marley, pretty much all the same guys. You add Eddie Royal, he's going to obviously get redshirted. Tight ends. And then at left tackle, you got Michael Orr, 81 overall. He will start for you. You got Schlereth as a backup there. Once again, I think the line is just not good enough. I think you're going to be 1 or 2 years away for all these freshmen. You got Jake Fisher, the SFA player. He's a senior now. He got some nice progression. But like I said, I think your line might be a year or two away. We're finally unleashing Jadeveon Clowney, top 10 player. He's been buried on depth charts. He'll finally play. Lots of left outside linebackers here. No right outside linebackers. They'll just put the next highest ranked linebacker there for you. Michael Cole, the SFA player. Kicker, 79. Punter, Travis Miranda. All right, there's Tennessee. So now we're going to go into CPU teams. So I'm going to kind of probably go through these a little bit faster. Quarterback, Ben Britton. Now, there are 2 SFA players on this team, and halfbacks are dog shit. So, Brock Baxter and Darius Hayward Bay, 2 SFA players who will play for them. I don't know if they're still running air raid or whatever. So, this will be a weird team to kind of track. This is the McGritty experiment gone wrong. Not much to see here. This is just if a new coach comes in. Alright, so Air Force is done. On to Akron. Quarterback, 83 overall, alright. Norrell's coming back, he's kind of a beast. Lots of wide receivers, so in general, the SFA is really deep at wide receiver, so keep that in mind when you're recruiting them. Has a nice left tackle at least. Remember, you can slow down the video if you took over Akron. God bless your soul. This team is dog shit. You just gotta grind through all of these rosters, all 6,000 players. Free safety, strong safety, kicker, and punter. Voila. Bama, this is what we're up against. They're still rated in the top 10 despite a poor season. Nate Robinson is still starting, but EJ Irons, he got recruited here. He's not going to start probably for 3 years. I hope he transfers because it's a really good player wasted. But yeah, I mean, Bama's still kind of Bama. Luckily in this game, they don't necessarily continue. Leonardo Ferguson is an SFA player as well, an in-game recruit. He's here. Oops, I think I forgot one. My bad. Whoever wanted to see 62 overall, Brent Sheldon. There you go. Left tackle, Bob Pork. He is starting, it looks like. That's awesome. So, left tackle is kind of sus. Okay, so their line dominance is not all that great. So that's going to be interesting. If you can pass rush on Bama, you might be able to do something. Still have some dogs at all of these positions, though, so they're still probably a favorite. Yeah. Looks like we're a couple years out from them sucking. Free safety. Kicker and punter. All right, who's next? App State. This is a new user. $35.30. Quarterback, Prescott. He's a junior. He sucks. Recruit a quarterback, please. Keith Johnson. Unfortunately, the SFA player, Akron Barron, he went down. He is a good player. This is definitely a run-heavy team, so I expect you to do a run-heavy playbook. You do have some decent wide receivers, though. Tight end. Fortunately, App State used to be good here, but now they not. Offensive line definitely needs some work. This team is probably a ways away from being competitive, unless you have a fluke season. One bright spot, though, is Rashad Banks. He is an SFA player. Kicker. So, pretty much by and large across the nation, kickers are terrible. Arkansas. I know this is a new user. Welcome in. I believe your name is Coach Bohr. So this is what you are working with, sir. Quarterback, Hornsby. He is a senior. He has 93 speed. That's something to look at. You got Sanders. Not a bad start here. You made the Big 12 championship last year, so looking to repeat some success. Your left guards are looking a little rough. Line, pretty good. Pretty deep. Depth is a big thing because injuries will take place. They happen to pretty much everybody. Decent at corner. Corner is, in general, one of the weaker just positions over... Ooh, Slusher. That's a cool name. Weatherford. Kicker, he has a 94, so he should be set there. Punter, a little bit more sus. Arkansas State. This is one of my favorites to potentially win the Sun Belt. Jeb Ford, he got him in the transfer portal, yoinked him from Memphis. He would have started there. And because he's a Tamper, I'm just going to quickly flash his ratings for you. 85, 81. He has a little bit of speed as well. Really kind of saved you guys from kind of a bad... someone bad. Rashard Mendenhall, he is a SFA player. He will not start this year. Wide receiver, looking nice. So I would expect you... I mean, their offense is really good for a Sun Belt team. Jermaine Gresham will start for you. Now the question is the offensive line. Now remember, for Sun Belt teams, mid to high 70s is a decent... So maybe your right tackle is the only weakness. You got Mims, and then the this guy is the 5-star he brought in. He's only a 78 though. He'll take a year to develop. Decent linebackers, who are really good linebacker there. Yeah, dude, this team might be poised for a run. Their corners are weak, like I said. Just a general weakness throughout all of the SFA. Do have one good secondary guy, though. I'm really liking this team. Arkansas State, watch out for them. Army. All right. Army's kind of been a thorn in my side a little bit. They haven't beaten me yet this year, or in this series, but I know they're trying to. Ballard, he's taken over for Keenan, it looks like. They lost Tyrell Robinson. So they definitely look like they've regressed a little bit here. They have SFA player, Major Cash. He's an 86 overall, and he does not get used. I wish he would transfer. Nice. And they have some decent offensive linemen. Once again, sometimes Army is just playing good. So middle linebacker is a little bit sus. This guy's name is just Cutler. That's crazy. I've never seen that before. I'm just gonna go in and make his make it Jake Cutler. All right, Jay Cutler. Not terrible corners. Strong safety looking all right. Good kickers. Okay, Auburn. This is a team that might win. Antonio Williams and Demetrius Davis. Very good players. Very good running back there. Now, honestly, for an SEC powerhouse here, not really liking what I'm seeing it, but I think something that a lot of people underlook is the line play. So, like, the right side of their line, they're going to get exposed a lot, especially on game day, so. But I really like the middle of their team here. Middle linebacker, they're set. Really deep cornerback class here. Alright, there's Auburn for you. BYU, I know the user, he just randomly showed up again. Probably an alt, but who knows. BYU. Alright, so they got Comover back, so that's nice. Bausick, the SFA player, he's up to an 80. Cobbleberry, the SFA player, he will be in your slot, and he is 5'10". I love me some Cobbleberry. I'm glad he's actually going to play. I almost recruited him instead of Heimlich Heisenberg. I was debating on which to scout. I'm glad I chose Heisenberg. Mo Latu will start for you in the middle. So, probably a little better last year. I hope this is a bowl team, but remember, okay, Enzo Woods, he is starting for you. But you got to remember is that you are independent, so you're going to generally probably have a tougher schedule than most. And yeah, so that's BYU. Ball State. Don't mind this lol, it's just me writing down the timestamp. I do know Ball State does have SFA players, so Steele is one of the best players in the country. He leads a lot of the rushing categories career-wise, so don't sleep on them. Really, really deep at wide receiver. Now, I know Ball State, they were making a run, so Justin Flores and CJ Fedorowicz are both SFA players. But they, I think, started out like maybe 6-2, 6-1, and then they just completely choked away the division to Toledo last year. And terrible corners. A good safety. Alright, there's Ball State. Boise State, this is a user who is generally inactive, but I'm still going to go through it. Alright, Ethan Garber's not the one who led UCLA in Season 7, a different one. I believe he transferred in real life. This team is just a pile of dog shit. I mean, they need so much work, and they're stuck at the P5. But they do have an SFA player, Von Haley. He will be their starting tight end. He is a dark horse for the Team of the Year. Because, I mean, who else are they going to throw the ball to on this team? I like Herbert Gums. That's a great name. No other SFA players on this team, but yeah, this team is bad. They had the upset win over Washington, and then they did nothing else last season, so. Odiepo, that is a decent player. Other than that, I mean, their safeties are okay, but, you know. Alright, Boise State. Boston College. A former user. Let's see what his team looks like. Marcus Davis finally is the starter. He's up to a 92. Matthew Murray and Cody Kessler are still there. So Marcus Davis season, watch out. He could be a dark horse. Theodore Jenkins, he is an SFA player with Kyrie Irving and Devonta Freeman backing him up. So that is a stacked team there. And then they got Matt Andrews, who's now the #1 guy there, 94 overall. David Tyree, he is still up there. He was a Bear Cave player. Lewis Bond is a new addition. Greg Jennings stuck down here at 68. He was terrible. Xavier Grimble, I'm glad he's a very fast tight end. Excited to see him. So Boston College, this is a scary offense. Watch out for this offense. Oh yeah, watch out for this offense. Lance Tomahawk's the starter. On defense, this is where I worry about them because they're losing a lot of the SFA players that made this team so good. They used to be a perennial top 10 team. Takeo Spikes, he's still there. Sophomore, 85 overall. And this team is off limits to new users just because I'm not giving you a free full team of SFA players. But this is a great example of how good SFA players make your team. Randy Orton, the punter. Bowling Green. This is a team that I think has a chance to win the MAC. They got a decent quarterback, decent running back. Wide receivers are not that bad. Tight ends are very good. We'll say they are struggling on the offensive line for sure, but they are all 70s, so. And they have one good end. Okay, D tackles, but they have decent linebackers. We'll take that. The cornerbacks are just bad. And then a good safety class. Rosario and a 56 punter. California, how are they going to look post Trevor Siemian? Well, they got Milliner in 92 overall, 80 speed, so I think they're going to be just fine. Street as well. This team is taking on Clemson in their first game, the defending national champions. Lots, very deep wide receivers, so I don't really think this team's going to really mess a step. One of the best tight ends in the country. Decent line, nothing crazy, so I think that's probably going to hold them back. I don't think they're going to be as good as they were last year. I don't think there is a way they could be. D tackle is just terrible. It's just run up the middle on this team. Halfback dive over and over again. And they have some decent middle linebackers, though, to make up for it. decent at cornerback. I like that. Free safety may be an issue in the future, so if you take over this team, watch out for that. Yeah, there's California. Now we got Michigan. 50. They lost their quarterback, but Luke's is back. He broke a vertebrae last season. Finn Hogan's one of the best in the country stat-wise. He put up nutty performance last year. A nice left tackle there. Nice center. Okay, so this team could be a dark horse. I mean, shit. All you need is a few good linemen. D tackle looks decent. If you're somehow still watching, why are you torturing yourself? Free safety. Decent safeties here. Good kicker. Now we got Charlotte. Xavier Williams will start. They have a decent lineman. Kansas yoinked Eddie Dove from them this offseason. Not a lot of receivers, so if you take over this team, there's opportunity there. Honestly, Charlotte's not that bad. This may be the best Charlotte team we've ever seen. All high 70 on the line. Decent interior linemen. Yo, this team is not half bad. Alright, one standout corner. An okay back end. See, really the big point to get upsets and stuff is not get beat deep. So safeties can be pretty important. Cincinnati, my arch rival here in the SFA. I fucking hate them. They ruin my seasons over and over again. Collinsworth, we'll get to him. Chad Barber, I gotta show you him. The first ever honorary SFA player. He's gone up to a 77, but he was throwing as a 62 overall in his freshman year. He had 31 and 11. Last year was a little bit of a regression, but it was a bad team. But yeah, he's your starter now. Only 56 speed. And it's actually non-negotiable. He has to start for you. You're not benching Chad Barber. Hudson James, he is an SFA player. He's at 85 now. Wide receiver-wise, you kind of got screwed. You lost Shane Acho, but you're still, very nicely set up. Ollie Thibodeau, he is an SFA player. On the line, you are set. You have Andrew Whitworth, SFA player. Then you got Valverde. He's an SFA player. He was actually Team of the Year. And then Luke Collinsworth, one of the few guys who went up double digits, who went up plus 11 for you. So that's huge. Terry Schooler, Tamper from last year, 86 overall. One of the best players in the country. Team of the Year caliber guy. Sean Gatsby as well. One of the best overalls. Decent interior. Look for this team to be scary, man. Ugh, they're really my only competition. You got Dingle in the middle. I swear if I lose to this team again, I am going to be super sad. Man, we still have 9 people watching. Glad you're here. Threats is a good player. So yeah, there's Cincinnati for you. Now here we look. The defending national champions of the world. This team, I'm going to be honest with you, they're still good, but they got ransacked. Brand new starting quarterback. They lost their 1 and 2 QBs. It's a guy named Will Taylor. Andrew Warfield, he is a freshman. He is an SFA player. He will not start. It will be Will Taylor, unfortunately. I'm not allowed to mess with CPU depth charts, so that's just kind of how it goes. Will Shipley finally gets the starting job. Stanky leg, he is 4th on the depth chart. He's slowly making his way up there. Dakari Collins is now the number 1 guy, along with Troy Stellato. 2 critical parts of that championship run. If you guys watched it, if you didn't, you should go back and watch the highlight videos on our YouTube. Great all-time run from Clemson. Once again, I mean, center's pretty rough. Bilbo Berkman was an SFA in-game recruit last year. Will Gay. So their line's not looking all that hot. So yeah, I'm not expecting them to repeat this year. Unfortunately, they're probably going to suffer the same fate most defending champions do, is where they have a massive drop-off. One of my favorite players in the country, Martin Black. He is a CPU player. Really, really bad corners here. So, attack the 3rd wide receiver. Trey Venables, though, he's still there. And then kicker and punter. Coastal Carolina. This is a user as well. A new user. He's scared about this big text. Well, I gotta take a sip of my drink. You're nervous about your quarterbacks. Well, you should be. No speed. Ty Lyles not gonna do it. So I think if you are Coastal Carolina, I think your number 1 priority should probably be quarterback. You got Brain Bennett. You're fine at running back. For you new users, if you're still watching, by far the most important position on your team for the SFA is quarterback and running back. You are so deep at wide receiver. Holy smokes. This may be the best wide receiver core in the country, but you just have no one throwing to them. That's wild. Because you lost Grayson McCall, and then Fink, you can blame Fink for this. He stole Kyle White, your starter. This team would have probably been my pick for the college football playoff had out of the G5 had you still had Kyle White. Jeez. All right, well, let's take a look at the defense. Your line's not that great. The linebackers, fine. Nothing too spectacular here. Corners aren't that bad for a G5. On the backside, though, okay, so you make up for it with Chase Smith, but definitely some work to do to get this roster back. But yeah, you need to recruit quarterback for sure. Colorado, my IRL favorite team. Dion, come to the SFA. Dion, come to us in real life, please. We got Brendan Lewis still starting here. Cale McCarr finally is playing. He's a redshirt freshman, 90 overall from our hockey. For you guys who don't know, anytime I do a player reward, I do an equal, whatever real-life team. So, obviously, the Avalanche won the Stanley Cup, so Cale McCarr made it into the game. And they're an 85 freshman, so that's just how that happens. If we do those in the future. They got Brendan Rice. The transfer portal isn't AIDS like in real life, so that's nice. This team I picked to win the division. I mean, Ron, if you're here, tell me this isn't a good team. Tell me this isn't a good team. And Cade Condor, he is an SFA player that committed to them because nobody recruited him. 73 overall right tackle. Defense might be a little sus, but I think this offense is more than good enough to make up for it. You have a good middle linebacker who doesn't have that much speed. Cornerback, 288, 84. Ooh, baby, Colorado, please. They're not ranked. They should be. And we're going to see them in week 1 in the Rocky Mountain rivalry. They are not on game day or anything, but look out for that team. Colorado State, this is who they will be playing. 59, 15. This team is very bad. Bless your soul if you decide to take this over. Lots of opportunity at halfback, though. That's the best part about rebuilding in the SFA, I think, is taking over a low G5. And yeah, you're going to suck for a few years, but any player you recruit is going to play immediately and make a huge impact. The best example we've seen is obviously Buffalo. Man, I'm only in the C's and I'm already losing my voice. I'm going to probably stay a little bit more quiet here because, goddamn, we have a long ways to go. Corners are okay. Free safety, you have one really good safety there. Kicker and your punter. All right, Duke is another new user. Welcome, welcome. Glad you're watching. Glad you're here. We're at the hour mark. Got Clay Brown as your starter here. You have a lot of opportunity at running back. A lot of opportunity at wide receiver. I have a feeling this could be one of those teams where you have a lot of opportunity everywhere. Your line definitely not up to par with the ACC. Defensive line, same thing. No depth, not great overalls. This team is stinky. You do have an in-game recruit SFA player, Luigi Guido. So look out for him. Cornerback is actually your deepest position, and that's a position that everyone kind of sucks at. So that's where you kind of have an edge. All right, EMU here. We got Baron May. So, okay, a decent quarterback, decent running back. This team can make a splash this season. Nothing too crazy that I'm seeing. One good player there. So, looks like safety in general is just like a really, really good spot for most teams, which is interesting. Alright, FIU. We will not be upgrading to a new college football revamped because they replaced FIU with James Madison, and you have to restart the dynasty for that to take effect, and I can't restart this dynasty, so yeah, so our hands are kind of tied there. But this team's looking all right. They had a really good season last year. They do have a playoff appearance in SFA history back in season 6. Decent tight end there. All right, nice little left tackle. Ooh, nice little left guard. Okay, so this team may be better than expected. They have the line. So look out for FIU. This may be a nice team to keep your eye on. They are amazing at both lines. Holy smokes. Linebacker, definitely a room for opportunity. Really good corner. Alright, I might have been underestimating FIU. This team might be able to do something this season. Alright, FIU. What's the Shaq meme? I wasn't familiar with your game. 103-30. Alright, Florida. Can they get back to where they once were? Anthony Richardson's an 82 here. That's just funny. This is my pick for the in-game Heisman. I just think he is poised for a big year, just looking at how this team is set up. I feel like they're going to run right through him. Gotta say, I'm not confident in that pick. I didn't look at their offensive line. I was just looking at running back overall, so I kind of regret that decision. Middle linebacker, I mean, look, they're set. You know, this team is... Oh, yeah, one of the best... This may be the best corners in the country. Probably the best secondary in the country. Oh, yeah, all 90s and all starting positions. So watch out for Florida. Do not throw on Florida. Holy smokes. FAU, they had their best season in SFA history last year. They were the Giant Killers last year. Can they repeat it? They did, unfortunately, lose their bowl game in dramatic fashion in overtime. They did lose one of the best receivers in SFA history as far as career numbers are concerned. Man, dude, I always forget how much of a grind this stream is. Whew. We're vibing, though. Pretty deep at corner. So, honestly, the Sun Belt's really good. They might be the best all-around G5 conference this season. Florida State, here we go. Big user here. I think the second highest rated user in the country. Braxton Miller came back for his senior year. 94 overall. Jake Johnson, hopefully he does not get injured. He's up to a 93. Bishop Sankey, SFA guy. Wide receivers, he used Tier 5 on Mike Evans, who's had a down career at Pitt despite being a high overall, so he's looking for a fresh start. Terry Nichols is an SFA player. Very excited to see what this team can do. Yeah, seriously. Only person in FSU's way is himself. This team should make the playoff. I mean, look at this line. Look at this line. Holy shit, look at this line. If you don't make the playoff with this, I'm firing you. Like, look at this, Shane Ray, SFA guy. Like, 85 plus at every position. I mean, I will say last year he did get a little shit on by injuries, but that being said, Adonis Sanders is starting in the slot for him. He's an SFA player, and here is his number 1 recruit, Ja'Cory Williams, number 2 in the class. This is what he looks like. He can play wide receiver as well. You see the 85 catching. Jumping is insane. He is a ball hawk at its finest. He will start there. So, yeah, this team is stacked. Said probably should be a favorite, but he's not. He's going to outcoach himself. Fresno. Hey, McNasty, don't do 1 month follower mode. I just want followers only. I don't know if somebody posts something that wasn't supposed to be posted, but I want new users to be able to talk, because this is the first stream. Fresno, they're shit. I mean, this team is just dog shit. I mean, they were deep, though. And it's the Mountain West. You never know, right? Ooh, this line is booty cheeks. D-tackle. Georgia, this is going to be a big one. No users here, but they are going to be a factor in this season. One of the surprises of the offseason was Brock Vandegrift, the redshirt sophomore, declared for the draft. So Carson Beck or Ryan McBride, I don't know who is going to start. Ryan McBride is an SFA player. Oh, yeah. So not the best quarterback taking over, but Dejon Edwards. And Aaron Ford is an SFA player, but he's just buried on the depth chart. Very good at receiver per usual with this team. And Lorenzo Pines, the true freshman SFA in-game recruit, will start for them, so they immediately replace Brock Bowers. Jackson Wild does not look like he will be starting, unless, yeah, no, it doesn't look like he will be starting this year. Jordan Whiting, the number 1 overall in-game recruit from last year, he will start in the line. I love that for them. So watch out for Jordan Whiting. He is an SFA player. So, I mean, Georgia is, this is what I'm talking about in-game recruits, is that these top-tier teams are going to be more fun to watch because they're going to be good anyways, right? So we might as well have them loaded with SFA guys that we know about that have lore and stuff. So I think that's one of the best things about in-game recruits. Okay, they're bad at free safety, but Ed Dawson will probably start there. Kicker, Bobby Doucette. We saw him make a few big kicks last year in the playoff. Georgia Southern. Coach Coco. Jeff Driscoll, Jeff Daddy, you're going to need a quarterback this year, sir. He is a senior. He is not sticking around. Running back, a lot of opportunity here as well. So the 2 most important positions you may want to start recruiting at. Good receivers here. Joseph Lewis, SFA players. Sammy Watkins, SFA player. They're kind of buried on the depth chart, but you are deep there. Decent tight ends. You know, this is a deep team. Not that great on the line, though, unfortunately, for yourself. So your offense does need a lot of work. I do think Jeff Driscoll hides a lot of it, though, for you. Kyle Brookins, your true freshman, he will start for you at right end. And you are defensive tackle, DTU. Timmy Jernigan, SFA player. Anthony Johnson, SFA player. Josh Gumbo, SFA player. Robbie Tyson, SFA player. So you are deep on the line. And then he almost got tampered from you, but Patrick Scov stays, the senior in the middle. It wouldn't have hurt you too bad, but I mean, Patrick Scov is a beast. And then at cornerback, you are very much not deep here. This is a problem. And then Brooks Clint, he's still your starter, SFA player. Tyrell Davis, and then Co Simpson. He will be starting, it looks like, after next year, or he probably will be playing a little bit of cornerback. And then your special guys. Georgia State, the worst team from last season. They lost to Fink, of all people, the worst coach in SFA history. They got this guy, Derek Brown. Okay, progressing nicely there, an 80 overall quarterback. Lots of opportunity here if you take this team over. Oh, yeah, this team is Goolsby. That's a fun name. Yeah, this team is not good. You can see why they were not good last year. Oh no! Fink is here. I didn't mean to. Sorry. Chill, chill, chill. Oh my god, look at these corners. Alright, it's understandable how they lost to Fink. Not even his terrible coaching could not take advantage of 60 overall cornerbacks. Hawai'i time now. Hawai'i used to be good back in the day, but unfortunately, not anymore. Couldn't ride the coattails of Colt Brennan. Quarterback. This guy is dog shit. Alright. Lots of opportunity at these schools for running backs, it seems. Nishigaya. Gonna reverse curse so hard. Yeah. Steve Coker. Well, not much doing here for this team. Team that once beat Jay Jettas in a playoff game. It doesn't look all that great. How much 4 years can change you. Oh boy. Corners though, not that bad at corner. 68, 6, oh jeez. You just throw it over the top all day on that team. Hawaii's dirty. All right, Houston, here we go. Skyflyer, let's hope his team is better than his fantasy football. Well, I'm going to smash this week. Cop, he is a junior. Zach Maynard, the SFA player. He stole him from North Carolina from me. He has good running backs. Expect this team to rebound, and at the very least, I expect him to make a bowl game for sure. The lines may be a little less than desired here. Left end, right end, and his best player, and then SFA player David Feititi. He will start in a 4-3. Roy Kent, 82 overall. He is a beast. He will start. So yeah, I mean, this team's pretty decent at corner considering. So expect Houston to be good again. Illinois, probably, I've never seen a team chawed at the quarterback position so hard. They lost Darrell Jackson because of their incompetence and starting other shitheads. So they're starting Samari Collier instead of Darrell Jackson. Doug Chonkla finally gets the start now with Mike Allstott right behind him. I love that. Still have some very good receivers. Pee Wee Hop transferred here, and he's buried on the depth chart once again because he regressed. Poor Pee Wee Hop will probably never play a day in his life in the SFA now after that decision. Some decent linemen here. And this team could be a player for the division. I mean, especially with this line, because look, I mean, Vince Wilfork starting now, 85 overall freshman. Sheesh. We'll say the linebackers are a little bad, but yes, he is deep at cornerback, so I expect this team to make, and I want to point out, Marquise Tompkins is an SFA player. Kyle Horry, one of the best SFA players, Team of the Year man. Up to an 89. All right, Indiana. Alrighty, Indiana. They got destroyed by injuries last year. They have a good quarterback. Holloman, he was out for the season last year. He is back. Bad at wide receiver, so a lot of opportunity here if you take this team over. Bad right end. I mean, this team's like the ugly stepsister of the best division in the country. So, I mean, they're just gonna get dog walked every week. Like, I don't think it matters what you do to this team. You're not finishing higher than last. Iowa, this is my pick to win the division. And they have a new user, so I'm kind of putting faith in this man. Oh, no! Oh, this is a disaster. Cody Green is getting benched. Oh, no! So Cody Green's getting benched for Deuce Hogan, who had a little bit better progression. And Jason Richardson, the true freshman athlete, 87 speed. Oh no, Cody Green, is he going to transfer? That's a shocker. They still got Gavin Williams though. Chaz Ralph, 8 to an 88. Tight end's pretty good. Like, this is a good offense. And Jason Foreman, SFA player. He may play at a different position here. I mean, this is Iowa. They always have good linemen. Van Ness. Cam Buffington is a freshman. He will start for them. He went to them because nobody wanted to recruit him. Shame on the SFA for letting that happen. Not that great at corner, but I mean, I feel like they'll rush. This is a good defense pretty much regardless, so yeah, a decent start, and I think they're going to be pretty good this year. Kansas State. They made the playoff last year. Surely they're going to regress, you would think, right? New quarterback Jake Rubley will be the starter with Will Howard behind him. They lose Deuce Vaughn, so, you know, not much doing there. Wide receivers, they still kind of have the same core, so I expect him to still be pretty good. Garcia is good despite his overall. Same thing with Pollard. Left tackle is dog shit. Man, dude, this team fell. Doesn't look like Kansas State's going to be all that good this year. Well, it was fun while it lasted. They still have really good defensive ends. So, I mean, maybe they have a nutty season again and play really well with a terrible team. 87 overall. So, okay, they have a few players here and there that could make an impact. But yeah, I do not expect them to be competing with Baylor for that division. Kent State. Alright, you got Kip for a year. Maryland is good, OSU, and Michigan just exists in OSU. Yeah, no, Indiana's screwed. Can the Golden Flashes do something this season? Probably not with this roster. It's pretty booty even for a MAC school. I mean, it looks like maybe Buffalo could beat them. We'll see. Slacker T. Corners, not that great. Like I said, safeties seem to be premium, like pretty easy to get in this game, so that's interesting. And Kentucky, finally, a new user. Let's take a look at your roster here. Starting is Nick Scalzo. I know you saw that. You have a true freshman, though, Mark Harris. So, running back row seems to be alright. You got Hazelnut is an in-game freshman. He is a beast. That's an in-game SFA player from last season. Wide receivers are alright. Now, I know you're watching Kentucky. You do actually have some SFA players on this team. Back in the day, we did have a user, so I will point them out on the defense. I do not think that's an SFA player. I don't think so. Alright, Jeremy Bastion is an SFA player starting at left outside linebacker. And then your fifth wide receiver, or your fifth corner is Deshaun Candler, who's an SFA player as well. So you have those guys who are grooming. Not the worst roster if you were not in the SEC, you know what I mean? It's an okay roster, but you're not going to be able to compete. LSU. Is LSU going to still be mid for the 10th season in a row? Yes. All signs point to yes. They got Nussmeier, 86 overall QB now. Goodwin and Kiner. Wide receiver. Todd Franz, who you got is as Tamper last year. He's here. And then you got Willie Bell this year. So, kind of unlucky for you in the portal. But Tavion Galloway, he is a true freshman. He was a 5-star. Dellinger, once again, you're going to have good players pretty much all over the place. It's just, are you going to be able to compete in the SEC? So, actually, D-tackle is pretty weak for you. You might want to shore that up. Sampha is back. JoJo Gates, as you saw there, your other recruit for the season, buried on the depth chart behind a sophomore and a senior. So, see how much they play. Corner, you are decently deep, nothing crazy. Bones Highland and Mumu Binwadin are stuck behind this man, but Bones Highland got a ton of progression as Mumu went down. And then you got Pig Cage. That's not an SFA player, that's just a real name. Louisiana, this is one of my favorite teams coming in this season, one of my most hyped teams, just because of all the crazy good players he did get. Quarterback, Darrell Jackson, coming over from Illinois, 96 speed. He was wanting a guy with speed to stretch the field and offer some option ability with Nidair Finley. Nidair Finley, freshman All-American, he will start. Shane Acho coming over, SFA player coming over from Cincinnati. Tight end's not looking good. His line is okay. Center's bad. Here's where it starts getting real nice real quick. Boom. Ndamukong Suh, freshman, 5-star. Middle linebacker not looking great. Right outside linebacker looks good. Darren Williams, a top 5 corner in the country and number 5 rated in all of the land. He's number 1 now. I love this team. I think they are going to go a long ways this year. Louisiana Tech. Snowpiercer has once again disappeared for like 2 seasons, so who knows what's going on with him. But this is his old team. We are, next year, it's going to be Young Sung Bong's team. Look out for that, the 92 speed. He's an SFA player, obviously. Wide receiver Zach Howard, the SFA player, is finally the starter. 78 overall. Blaine Kindly, SFA player. He has a 96 overall middle linebacker. Holy smokes. And James Kiffin, the SFA player of the year, had an insane season after breaking his back in his freshman season. And I believe the first game of his career. His sophomore campaign went a lot better. Louisville, new user. Quarterback, 96 speed, 80 overall. Running back, a lot of room for improvement. Same thing with wide receiver. Lots of offensive linemen here. Center is just terrible. Remember, the game will put your best players, though, overall-wise. Even if it's out of position. Corner, very bad. You might want to consider recruiting a corner. And then SFA player Vivian Alexander, the first female in the SFA in-game recruit. 90 kick power for her. Marshall, let's see what Fink's old team is up to. I'm not sure if any of your players are still here. We'll take a look. Grant Wells, okay. So Rakeem Cato is a senior. He's a career backup to Grant Wells. Rasheem Ali, so none of your running backs are there anymore. Wide receiver-wise, I believe none of them are here. Same thing with tight end. pretty bad team here, honestly. Joe Thuney, he got NCAA Player of the Week last season. He is still there. He is the starter. You do lose Ryan, two-time Player of the Year. Yeah, Shutang Mungwa. Now, he did have, you can't see here, but he did have decent throw power from Season 6. He could have played quarterback for you. He wouldn't have been as good as Grant Wells, though, had you stayed. But, yes, Shutang Mungwa, hopefully he has a big year. Maryland, they did drop off this year. Maryland definitely dropped off here, as you can see, at quarterback. Down to a 76 overall man, Gary Mackey. Philip Dorsett, though, and Penny Boone. Two guys leading that backfield, along with Raheem Mostert. So, some great guys there. They lost some wide receivers, but they have a ton of SFA tight ends. McKinney's one, Austin Safarian Jenkins is one, and so is Jay Swoozy, the freshman. Good offensive line. Once again, toughest division in football. I don't expect them to compete this year, unfortunately. I think last year was the last chance. Holden Shaw, one of the best SFA pass rushers. And they lost, unfortunately. They finally lost John Bostic. So Hippolyte takes over. Some tough guys in secondary there. Anyone else not hearing anything? What do you mean? Refresh. There should be no issues. Memphis time. Yeah, I'd expect refresh, Fink. Yeah. Alright, quarterback. Arguably, what has been said is the worst quarterback in SFA recruit history. Case McCoy. He finally gets the starting role. 75 overall. He is downright bad, 69 throw power, but guess what? He's getting his starting chance. Can he lead Memphis back to the college football playoff? Probably not. Yeah, this team got gutted. Dogwater, you bailed at the right time. Like, yeah, you brought back a few of your wide receivers, but man, this team is bad. Robert Sledge, who burned Darren Williams, he's back. Still have a decent offensive line, surely, but just don't have the same skill positions to do anything, so I think it was a good idea bailing on this team. A lot of the same men, though. Bad middle linebacker. Now, Golden, this man won a lot of awards last year. Let's see what they were. Yeah, he won the Bednarak and the Thorpe last year, just for so many tackles. He's back, but no depth behind him. Oh yeah, very good idea that he left this team. Miami, here we go. All right, Miami. Mark Liu will be the starter. As I said, that Matt Barkley, he disappointed with how they ended the year, losing the ACC championship and then getting curb stomped by Arizona. So he made the choice, or really bribed the coaches to start Mark Liu after he saw their progression. Jacoby Brissett. Same thing here. Jarrett McKinnon, I believe, will start, but, I mean, they're going to split time in the sim. You know, Melvin Gordon's still there. Fuck Miami, apparently. But they have Allen Robinson. This team should, once again, probably win their division unless Georgia Tech makes a run, but I don't see it happening this year. I think he's still a year out. But, I mean, yeah, this team's still really good. Like, if you don't pick this team to win the division, I'm not sure what you're looking at. Chance Williams comes back. God's power offer, SFA player, 99 overall. One of the 4 99s in the game. He's a beast. Corey Flagg is still here. They do lose Telvin Smith, though, so that's something to keep an eye out for. Not as good at the corners you'd like to be, but this team is still disgusting. Like, yeah, Miami's a beast. Top 10 team. Now, Miami, Ohio, the MAC powerhouse of the last couple seasons. They did lose to Toledo, though, last year. So is their run over? Let's see how they replace the quarterback, Avion Smith. I don't think he's going to be able to replicate what Gabbert did. Mosey's still there, though. He's good. Still some decent wide receivers. Tight end, good. And then once I go through all these teams, I'm going to go through the team overalls and the preseason rankings, just so you can see them all as well. And then I'm going to go through some specific like ratings leaders. Michigan, they lost Devin Gardner, so let's see how they look now. Michigan, now J.J. McCartney, obviously leading them to the CFP in real life. Can they do it here? Donovan Edwards, he will start. That's the man that just cut up Ohio State in real life. Not too much going here at wide receiver. Really good tight ends. Once again, this team is the best division in football, so it's really kind of a shit. Who knows how they're going to perform. Calcium Loudermilk, one of the in-game recruits from last season, he will start. Good corners. I like that. Free safety. All right. Pretty good team. They could be a dark horse in that division for sure. Mid-Tennessee State, NTSU, one of my rivals in my division. Let's see if they got better. Flipper Master, the SFA in-game recruit, he will be their starter. A 5-star recruit that they got, and look at his throw power though, but he has really good accuracy and good speed, so they can do a lot with this player, honestly. So this could be a golden age for MTSU if somebody wants to pick them. This may be the year to choose them. Game previews I'm going to post after this game. I'm going to post Bear Cave tonight for week 1. I just don't know if I'm going to do recruits yet. It just depends how long this takes. Also, Fink, if you are here, I do want to do Kansas practice tonight if you are available. So yeah, I mean, if someone wants to be the Blue Raiders, be my guest. Mississippi State, kind of a forgotten team. Decent quarterback. Remember, just slow down the video if I go too fast through the CPU teams that don't matter. Okay. Yeah, it's not going to be long. Alright, there's Mississippi State. Missouri, this is a new user. All right, you do have a 90 overall quarterback. Okay. You got a man named Taj Butts. Nice. This might be a little golden age that we're coming up on for Missouri. Okay. Missouri might be good. They have potential, I'm seeing, on at least on this offense. Let's wait to see the defense. But this is potential. Okay, left end, right end. Okay. Ooh, D tackle looks okay. I'm not seeing much that I hate. Okay, so, all right. So, might be buying stock here on Missouri. Looking pretty good. Maybe they won't finish 6-6. NC State. Carmelo Cannon as a junior finally starts as an 89 overall. Hallelujah. This team is going to be trouble once again. I mean, look at this. They're going to be good. I don't think as good as last year because of the running back situation they had, but, I mean, they had the Heisman winner. But this is a team that was a playoff team a year ago. They are eager to try to get back there. They were the 8th seed. They lost to Ohio State, but they kept it close for most part. I like this team. Oh, wait, I want to see Corey Cobble. Or, wait. I got to change his name. I never changed his name last year. It's Cobble, not Cobby. Pinstripe pointed that out, so it is Cobble. So he is the second man. Unfortunately, as a freshman, he is not ahead of Jordan Poole, but he will be the starter next year. That's fun. Don't buy into Missouri. Yeah. Just trying to hype him up. Yeah, it is always a trap. Navy. What is Navy looking like? This is Wing's old team. Once again, he kind of disappeared as well. Don't know where he went. Oh, God. Just terrible, 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 terrible. This is another team that has a really good tight end. Both Navy and fucking all 3 service academies have good SFA players that they don't use. Chris Cooley's a great tight end, and they just don't use him. I'm actually kind of surprised service academies haven't been doing better. Ty Terry, SFA player, he is poised for a big year. But I mean, outside of that, it's kind of meh. Probably gonna be taking a while to get them back up there, but I mean, they're looking all right. Nebraska, another new user. Johnny Manziel, he came back for his senior year. Paul Sanford is an SFA player as well. He will be your backup. He is pretty good. Giovanni Bernard, 81 overall. He is an SFA player. Rashad Perriman's your best wide receiver. Part of the 99 Speed Club. Keep that in mind. So, blow the top off defense. Tyler Croft, SFA player. One of the teams that are dog shit, but they're littered with SFA players, so they can pop off at any time here. Defensively, let's see who is still here. Shaq Jenkins, SFA player. So this division is low-key pretty good. The North, Marcus Peters, you have on your team. Xavier Townsend, SFA player. It's a pretty good team. Nevada. Nevada is not a user anymore, but I mean, this team's just terrible, so somebody takes it over. I'm sorry. You chose this yourself. I mean, the line's not too bad. Honestly, the line could get them a couple wins. Toia, yeah. Now, I will say, though, is that the bust from Season 9 is actually going to start for them. Rico Valdez, the 5'8", strong safety, he's going to play. And he has 97 hit power. So, like I tell you guys, is that even the busts are worth recruiting. I mean, it's a lower-tier team. He's not really the best cover man, but he has strengths, and he is a player that can really help him out. So, remember, the bust is even good. So, recruit Discord players. Now, New Mexico, I think this is a dark horse to win the Mountain West this year. I love this team. I'm so sad that that user left. He was building something special. Oh, no! CJ Montez, who is this guy? How'd he get so good? He must have transferred in or something. So Ryan Leaf has been benched. Oh, that's heartbreaking. 76 overall, Ryan Leaf is benched. That is a shocker. Dumas comes back. They still have Jackson Smith and Ninjigba. He did transfer here in Season 7. Oh, man, I'm sad about Ryan Leaf, man. I thought he was the man. Well, pain, that's the SFA way. Players got to make their own way. If you don't progress, you're not going to make the Hall of Fame. And then Ephesians Prysock, one of my favorite players. He's an SFA guy. Look for this team. I think they're going to be pretty good. UNC, can they had a really down year last year. Jacoby Criswell, shout out to Mr. Hurricane for his series. That's how I know that guy. I mean, this is a good team, but I don't know if they're going to sim all that well. Decent tight ends, though. Like, this is one of those teams that's like a really good overall, but for some reason just doesn't sim all that great. So, we'll see if they can get back up there, though. I think it just depends on the season, honestly. And they very well could win the division, but I still think Miami still is a little bit better than them. But it probably just comes down to like injuries and that sort of a thing. North Texas. '72 overall. You love to see it. Neighbors is a pretty good player. Alright, they have a decent guard. This is another team where if you take them over, you brought it on yourself. Nothing to really build on. Northern Illinois, this is a user. Ethan Hampton is your starter here. Then you got Jay Ducker, who is a career leader in a lot of statistical categories, and he's back for his senior year. A really good guy, McCray, at wide receiver. Okay. McKinnon. All right, NIU. You're looking decent. I'm liking this team so far. Lots of mid-80s. Okay, so NIU could make a move this season. Okay. Shit, bro. This is a deep team. The MAC may want to watch out. NIU is here. NIU is a dark horse. Jay Ducker. Northwestern. Sullivan, he was out for the majority of last year. with, I believe, a broken arm. This team, I mean, they could win that division. That division's bad. They have the offense. But once again, like most teams, the line is pretty stinky. 60 overall starting is not what you want. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this team. No user, though, so. Notre Dame, here's a biggie. I play them this year, so it's... The good news is that I think they've lost a few of their SFA players at this point, but... God, dude, this team. Buckner is back, 98 overall. SFA player Bart Rogers. Logan Diggs is the new man at tailback. Alan Hearns, SFA player. Jarvis Landry, SFA player. Deep at wide receiver. No more Bibbins, though. Blake Fisher, I think, is an SFA player. No, Greg Robinson's the SFA guy. Donowitz is one of the in-game recruits. He will start as a freshman. You love to see that. Thomas Davis, a Bear Cave reward back in the day. Crixton Kirksey, MLB. I love him. JoJo Johnson's back. He's the top man. Yeah, this is a team that's very good at everything. John Smith is an SFA player. He's kind of sucked. Yeah, so Notre Dame is still Notre Dame. Probably going to be finished number 9 in the country. Ohio, you are a new user, and oh god, oh dear, oh no. You need to, I mean, you probably have a bad budget, but I highly recommend that you start here. This is just bad. I mean, nothing to really build off of at all. This is just stinky. Alright, you do have a decent running back, though. Wide receivers, okay. But who's going to throw it to them? Oh, this team's bad. This team is bad. Oh, no, you have no depth on your offensive line. Oh, dear Lord. Ohio. Oh, who's taking all your talent? Oh, man. 4 wins may be a struggle for you, good sir. Ah. Oh, no, this is a bad team. Well, good luck to you, my man. 3 players in the 80s. Ohio State, 2 straight years losing in the national championship. What kind of team are they going to field this time around? Stroud is back at starter after taking a year off. Quinn Ewers will start next year, it seems. Kyle McCord went down, but he returned. Interesting. So Kyle McCord goes down after choking in the national championship, and now Stroud gets it back. So this is just a back and forth QB battle. Mine Williams is going to get the start over Pryor. Daniel Sisk, a in-game recruit. Tyron Jefferson, the SFA player. Damn you, Jay Jettas. And Emeka Egbuka, probably one of the top 5 receivers in the nation in terms of like performance on game day. He is a touchdown god. Peter Parrish, they have the same top 3 as last year. That is scary. Martin Harrison buried. Tight end Tim Bowen. Trey Burton, the SFA player, he is starting at the second lineman position, or tight end position, I mean. Obviously, they have a great line. Who are they? JT is back. Okay, JTT. He is back for his senior year. That's important to know. Cowan's back. They have the same defensive line back. Oh, dear Lord. Like, they lost a lot of guys, but, man, do they have a lot of guys returning. Ryan Watts is returning. Oh, no. This team is too good. This team is too good. Corey Williams is back as well. All right. Who is Ohio State losing to in the national championship? That is the question. Oklahoma, the winningest team in SFA history. They hold a faint lead over Oregon, I believe, at this point. Caleb Williams is finally the starter. They lost the last time we saw him. It was a brutal loss in 5 OTs against Georgia in the SEC championship, longest game in game day history. Not the best. I mean, they're really good. This team's still really good. Very well could make it back, but it is a very stacked SEC. And honestly, Oklahoma has not performed well since they joined the SEC back in Season 6. Last year they finally won the division, but they were 7-5. So it was a brutal year, and they lost their starting quarterback to injury. But you know what? This team's looking good. I wouldn't worry about them. They're probably going to remain the winningest team for a while. Oklahoma State. This is a team that kind of sucks. They have a lot of SFA players, though. Quarterback. You got Joey Robinson as a junior. Okay, so nice start there. Fuqua is a freshman. Okay, so they got like a 5-star freshman coming in. That was huge. Tight end, Sammy Coates, SFA man. Tyler Lockett, SFA man. Quentin Stewart is SFA guy. Richard Rogers as well. Bad centers. Danny Shelton, SFA man, 86 overall. He's progressed nicely. Middle linebacker, Denzel Perryman, SFA man. This team has a lot of good players, but they just don't sim all that well. Old Dominion, they lost their crown jewel, Marcus Mariota. Lost Mariota. They now have Hayden Wolf, so they just don't have the rushing ability anymore. Blake Bortles is still here. I thought for a second he might start, but no. Cody Harris at running back. So running backs kind of sucks. DeAnthony Thomas and Michael Thomas are the top 2 options there. Obviously, SFA guys. Team of the year, John Doe at right tackle here. 87 overall now. On defense, they also lost Tyrann Mathieu, which would be a big loss. This is normally my biggest competition. Probably still is. Them and Cincinnati. For sure my top opponent in the division. But their defense isn't as good as it used to be. Ryan Ryder, SFA player. AJ Moore is an SFA guy. Ole Miss, one of probably the top user picks for like teams that are going to do well this year. Like I said, one of 499 overall players in the country. Ryan Fitzmagic is a sophomore. Matt Ryan is a freshman. He's black. Running back, Nate Robinson will not start. It's going to be this Bullock guy. Brent Boozler, number 1 man, and Ronald Acuna Jr., your MLB reward, are your top 2 targets. Derek Watt in his senior year. Let's take a look at his career numbers. That is disgusting. 2 career touchdowns. That's just bad. Cody Silk is going to start as a senior. I love that. One of the worst linemen in the old days. Chris Jones is going to be starting still. Seven Cloud is one of his freshmen. Demon Clowney is still there. Might want to start recruiting linebackers. Hopgood's still here. He's starting. Devers is starting. Chalk will play. Ricketts will play. Or Ricketts probably won't play. He'll get redshirted. Booker Atwood, Eric Weddle, HaHa Clinton Dix, all SFA players. King Costa. So, yeah, there's Ole Miss for you. Oregon. The second winningest team. Ty Thompson is back and he is starting. They had a down year last year. Team's looking decent though. Yeah, I doubt this team has any holes. I have them winning the division. D-tackle, I mean, maybe is a bit of a weakness, but in the Pac-12, I don't think so. Christian Comet, SFA player, he got a season-ending injury last year. It looks like he's lost his job. Kind of sus at safety, but a good team. Oregon State, one of the worst teams in the country last year. Fink had an offer from them. He decided to go to Kansas. That's how bad they are. They got rejected by Fink. Marvin Hill. 71 overall. So this is disgusting. Oh, no. Yeah, this is a bad team. Good choice not going here. Hold on, I gotta see wide receivers. Eric Nance still here. He is. Alright, so Eric Nance is a SFA player. He's the second man. Back to center here. Yeah, nothing great. It's Oregon State. Penn State. Okay, this is my dark. I think after having such a chalk year last year, I think this year's probably geared up for a bit of craziness. And I think that Ohio State has just lasted too long at the top of this conference, and Penn State has been historically very good. Now, this is one of the cases I was telling you guys 2 hours ago at the beginning of the stream. Verilex is a 96 overall quarterback, but he wants to start Terrell Pryor. So if I don't nuke his awareness to 23, the first time Terrell Pryor throws an interception or something, he'll come in. So if Terrell Pryor gets hurt, Verilex will come in and be a 76 overall. The story is basically just going to be like they weren't prepared to come in, or, you know, they had nerves being jolted into the game, you know, not in a rhythm, right? If Terrell Pryor's out multiple weeks, then I will manually raise his overall back up to a 96 and then, you know, put him back at the starter, obviously. But, yeah, he wanted to start Terrell Pryor, so that's what we're going to do. Decent running backs. I think this team could be sneaky good. They're probably not, so this is probably going to be my L pick of the season. But you know what? Might as well give it a nice dark horse pick. But his defense is dirty. Joe Payne, linebacker, pretty good. And then I believe, yep, Dallas Dobbs, baby, freshman. Right outside linebacker will start. Demarion Triplett is an SFA player. He's in the slot. Love this team. Pat McAfee, 87 overall punter. You know they're going to win the Natty with him. Pittsburgh. They got Mike Evans yoinked from them, unfortunately. But, oh no. Oh, Pitt, why can't you just recruit a decent quarterback? This is terrible. So many SFA players going to waste. Ty Montgomery, 94 overall. He's going to waste, unfortunately. Gene Dangus, oh man, the #1 recruit from the Season 8 class in game. He's a 90 overall, but who's going to throw him the damn ball? They also had Mike Evans here, but he got yoinked. Jeff Hireman, he leads the SFA in career average yards per reception, interestingly enough, with anyone over 50 catches in their career. I think it's like 19 or something per reception, something nutty. He's an SFA guy. Tua Tupuo, SFA man, he is starting. Lewis Nix, redshirt senior SFA man, he is still there. Lacobe Dean, Season 8 in-game recruit. Bud Dupree, SFA player senior, he's very good. Eric Reed, SFA player, 97 speed. Damn. So, look for Pitt to suck ass this year because they don't have a quarterback. All right, Purdue. All right, they have a quarterback this time. I mean, this is just the bad part of the conference. I don't see them being anywhere close to being competitive. Philip Stewart, SFA player junior, his best player, it looks like. Yeah, not that great. Purdue's going to Purdue. They'll win one crazy game, and then they'll suck the rest of the year. 59 overall kicker, not good either. Rice. What can Rice do this year? Probably nothing much. Luke McCaffrey is starting at quarterback. Guy's name is PP. Haha. Not really liking anything here. Carroll's decent. He's one of the teams we've never had a user at is Rice. Rutgers now. Wimsat is 91 overall, so we could see a Rutgers actually do something this season, potentially. They are in the AAC in this universe. Alright, I'm liking this team so far. Vinnie Queen, in-game recruit from last season, will start at center. You love to see that. This team won the AAC 2 years ago. SMU, this is a new user coach. Okay, so you get Preston Stone back. That's huge for year one. You did lose that really good running back, though. Godfrey is decent. Terrible tight ends. This is a team that was very good last year. Could be good again, but they kind of fell off at the end. But having Preston Stone gives you a fighting chance in any game. I got to go through that right end again. Remember, slow down the video if I'm going too fast. AC Leonard, SFA player for you. He transferred there from Vanderbilt. Decent free safety. So this will give you kind of an idea of where to recruit. San Diego State. Josh Johnson starting for you, number 69. Taylor Keithman, SFA player. Lots of SFA players. This is the old team for McNasty, Brandon Cooks, Oscar Fryer, all SFA guys. Trey Flowers, SFA guy. Kimo Kikoa, SFA guy. Almost taken by Iowa State. Kurt Maggot, SFA guy. Kobe Bryant, SFA guy. Or not Kobe Bryant. Tyson Hookah, Kobe Cannon, SFA guys. Norkeithus Otis, SFA guy. Maxine Hook, he used tamper on him. Adrian Phillips, SFA guy. So, still a very good team, probably the favorite still. And then SJSU 21100. Eget, 75 overall, very shitty, 70s. Looks like they have a 95 overall receiver, John Humphreys. That's interesting. I missed one. And the things I do for this server, fucking 3-hour streams. These nuts, SFA kicker. South Alabama time. Jake Jackson is a decent quarterback. Crosby. Am I okay? I'm vibing. I'm vibing. I have a little voice, my voice, I'm losing my voice. But we're chilling, we're in the S's. South Alabama's kind of trash. Fuck you, South Alabama. Alright. South Carolina, this is a new user as well. Guthier, they lost Luke Doty, 79 overall. That's not going to get done in the SFA. They lost all those good fullbacks. They had a 98 overall receiver. Shit. Alright. This team could be good if they had a quarterback, so you might want to look into getting a quarterback for sure. You have the offensive line to be good again. Honestly, same with this defense. So I think South Carolina's number one thing should be getting an SFA quarterback. And maybe a corner. Corners are bad. Stanford. They were a win against Notre Dame away from being in the college football playoff, but they choked. New quarterback is Ari Patu. Okay. New running back. Kind of knew everything for them, honestly. They lost. Tyrese Hall is an SFA guy, though, in the slot for him. Darren Waller and Nick Van Nett, two SFA guys. Michael Sam, SFA guy. Ely, an SFA guy. Some SFA players just don't pan out and they get stuck under depth charts. Kyle Powers will start for them, though. Terrible depth, though. If he gets hurt, they're screwed. Fork, my favorite player in the SFA, probably, besides Heimlich. Hopefully he has a big year. He's a fucking monster. We love Fork. Yes, that's his name. Nick Kitkowski, SFA player as well. Yes, we have a player that's just named Fork. Long story. Syracuse. Syracuse. DeAndre Wilkinson, SFA play. He has progressed pretty nicely. Henley will start over McCluster. McCluster's SFA guy. Gadsden, Burke, SFA guy. Kelvin Benjamin still buried on the depth chart as a junior. Meng, Sinclair, probably Team of the Year guarantee right there. David Young, really good SFA player. Tuitt got buried on the depth chart. Kevin Williams still starting. Dewey Deeks finally starting there. Darrell Rivas is now the top corner option. So last year he had the best corner class. This year corners are down a bit. Wayne Rooney, the SFA player. Yeah. TCU. I don't think we have a TCU user. We had one for a hot second. I think he left. But, oh man, Sam Jackson. Anthony Black. Someone should take him. He's good. He's good. 93 speed. But he's stuck on the depth chart. Tamper should look at him next year. Joshua Hilton, SFA player. Only 3 running backs on the roster. That's kind of interesting. This team looks pretty good, though. Oh yeah, this offense looks alright. I'm not too blown away by this line yet. Okay, 89, and then I have 70. Yeah, okay. This seems alright. But, I mean, they're in the division with Baylor. I think Baylor probably just kills them, per usual. Temple, who had a surprising year last year. Lynch is still starting for them. Sadie is back. I don't think they push Cincinnati, at least not from what I see. Beard. This is where Pinstripe is going in real life, it looks like. I mean, he got accepted to Temple in real life, at least, so won't be too harsh on the Owls here. Texas. Texas, they had a very bad year last year, but let's see, can they pull themselves out of it? Hudson Card is a senior. Got Todd Phillips in 82. I mean, this team needs some progression, honestly. Worthy's still there. But, I mean, they've lost their SFA players for the most part. I know they still have some great at tight end. Holy smokes. On defense, we'll see if Myron Gibbs, he will play. He was SFA in-game recruit that was out for the year last year with an injury. Bad outside linebacker. Frank Beamer, junior year. In-game recruit from Fink. Dontavius Sapp, SFA guy in his senior year. Just doesn't look like that great of a team for the SEC, so... I mean, shit, 490 overalls. And here's a big one. A&M, here's your team. Your team is very, very good on paper. But SFA history shows they normally do not play all that well. So Eli Stowers will be your starter. You actually got a really decent freshman right there. At running back, you got L.J. Johnson Jr., 2 seniors, though, so you might want to think about recruiting a running back in the server. At wide receiver, 2, 3, 4. Okay, your top 4 receivers will be leaving this year, so that may be a position of interest. Tight end looks fine. See, the good thing about being at one of these good schools, though, is you really don't have to recruit linemen because they're more often than not just going to fill them in for you. But, like, yeah, so running back and wide receiver look to be your biggest needs I see so far. You have a freshman middle linebacker. That's huge. You don't need to recruit that. You look good at corner. You look set up at safety. So, yeah, I mean, running back, my professional take here, running back and wide receiver for sure. Quarterback-wise, I mean, you could, let's see, Brooks White. Yeah, I would stick with Brooks White probably for the long haul. Yeah, Texas A&M's a good team. All right, who's next? Texas State. Yeah, for new users, I always try to give as much input as I can because I know that your first year is going to be like, oh, what am I doing? I don't want you to get off to a bad start. Jose Saunders, the SFA player, finally starting at Texas State. Been waiting for that. This team is still trash, though. 46, 44, recruit some linemen. What are you doing? So, Texas State, Jose Saunders, 87 speed. He's going to be using it all year. Oh, this team is garbage. All right, Texas State is the worst team I've seen so far. They have like 50 starting on both sides of the line. This is just horrendous. You actually don't have that bad of a roster, Vandy, compared to a lot of teams. Just of the conference you're in, it seems like you're bad. You're not that far away. All right, Texas Tech, new user. Luckily, Morton came back. But you have 3 seniors here, so you may want to recruit a quarterback. I mean, you're probably fine at running back with that 78. You seem okay at receiver for right now. Tight end, not necessarily a need. Lots of freshmen here. Okay. Line, you might be set because you have tons of freshmen despite the seniors. Now, the problem with this team, D-tackle might be a need, is that you're not getting as high of overall freshmen coming in, so it's not like instant plug-and-play guys. But yeah, lots of young guys starting, so D-tackle and quarterback look to be your main issues so far. And this team might just need some progression. Lots of freshmen on that team. All right, Toledo, new user. Taking over a user of the past. Toledo. Brett Huntley, yeah, he's a 94, but he's the career leader in interceptions with 49 going into his senior year. Running back Jordan Lowe is a senior. Jack Snowball is an SFA player. He did regress, though. Marquise Lee, very good player. Simi Kazi, SFA player as well. He's very good. Chet Moss, SFA guy. He's starting. Love to see that. Jaquavion Tavius, he's starting. That's an SFA man. Lots of freshmen in the back. All right, that's Toledo. On to Troy. They had a really good year last year. It looks like they've kind of gonna fall off. No users on this team, so we're just gonna quickly go through them, hopefully quick. And kind of rest my voice here. Tulane, new user. Tulane. Oh, I gotta go through all your players, my bad. Alright, Ibieta, he is starting for you. Running back, you seem to have not the best talent. You might want to recruit a guy there. Looks like you are going to be fine for at least a year at wide receiver, but you might want to start thinking about getting a guy there. Lots of freshmen, honestly, but also a lot of seniors on the line. You might want to recruit more linemen. Looks like your defense. Oh, looks like you need DT for sure. Looks like you're set middle linebacker. It looks like you're fine at right outside. These are younger guys. They're going to need some time to progress. You might want to look at corner. Free safety looks like a need after this year. Safety looks like a big need for you. All seniors. And then you got Graham. Yeah, very top heavy for sure. But seems like a pretty good team this year. Looks like you might be towards the end of your competing phase. You might need to rebuild a little bit. Tulsa time. Making our way through the natural disasters, the green wave and the hurricane. All right, quarterback Braylon Braxton. I don't believe this team has any sort of Clint Coker. That's a name. Line is trash. Right end is trash. Oh god, this team's complete trash. Okay, so Tulsa and Texas State are going to battle it out probably for the two worst teams I've seen so far. Ohio is also pretty bad. Okay, there's Tulsa. UAB, 2 years removed from a playoff berth. Most of their players are kind of gone at this point that were really good. They made it to the semifinal. Connor Cook, the SFA player, he's up to an 80 though. They lost their running backs, all 70s now, and not good. Not good at wide receiver. Yeah, this team's fall from grace has been hard. Oof. So they're back to the cellar. It was nice while it lasted, though. Yeah, this team's bad. But this is honestly a decent team to take over and build. Like, they're not, like, so bad that it's, like, painful, you know. Just gonna struggle for a little bit. Man, we're to the U's. Let's go. UCF. They had a really down year despite having a good roster. Like, I mean, really bad. Quarterback Keen, he's here. Bad. Really good receivers, though. Another CPU team, so I'm just going to kind of rest my voice, let you guys, if somebody joins, you know, use your own discretion on what you want to do here. Try to help new users out when I can, though. Really good corners, surprisingly. So this team's like really deep at some positions, and there's some more there promo worthy theme. I'm actually going to post all 13 games after this, because it's only 13 games in week 1, so you should have a decent choice. All right, UCLA. This team has been bad for a while, but they finally have a decent quarterback. AJ Sampson, SFA player, in-game recruit. He will start as a freshman. You'd love to see that. So that'll be interesting to watch. Yes. So we already did SDSU. So you can either scroll back in the video. I believe you can do that on Twitch, or you can wait for it to go up on YouTube, and then I will put a timestamp in the description for you. So I'll put a timestamp for every team in the VOD, so you can just click and go to your team. But yeah, UCLA, they made the playoff in Season 7, but looks like they're kind of far away from competing. ULM, this team could be interesting this year. Probably one of the most universally hated teams in college football. Not hated, just like, it's like, you know? Sammy Baugh, the SFA, they came in at the end of the season and sniped Sammy Baugh away from Alabama. An in-game recruit last year, one of the crazier battles. So, he could get this team competing. Kind of a golden generation for ULM right now. So nothing else is going to get streamed tonight. It's going to be all posted in Discord. If I'm probably going to screen share practice for Kansas, just so he can see his team today, later on, but not right now. Yeah, I'm going to end the stream, though, right after this, and then I'm going to get that upload going to YouTube. But I believe this is going pretty fast, so right after the stream, I'm going to eat dinner, and then I'm going to post game previews and Bear Cave for next week, or for Monday, and then I'm going to post the first recruits of the season tonight. But you don't have to be there. I know it's late on the West Coast or on the East Coast. You have till Monday to submit your pitches. And it doesn't matter when you submit them. Doug Broomfield, one of the great SFA quarterbacks. They won the Mountain West last year. They have one SFA player on their team, which is a bit later here. This is probably one of their worst teams, though. It's going to be Broomfield just trying to carry them back. They did beat Oklahoma in a bowl game last year. So Delta O'Neal, the SFA player, he's their starting corner now. Another Discord recruit that got yoinked by a CPU team because no one pitched to him. USC, I believe this is another user. Jackson Dart is still here. This is pre-transfer portal. Manjack the Fifth, that's a crazy name. This is a very good team, but they just haven't really been able to perform, and they're in a very tough division with a lot of users. So it'll be interesting to see if they can climb out of this hole. One of their best SFA players did decide to come back, though. Eric Kendricks, 95 overall. They also have Brock Vereen, who's an SFA player. See, like I say, you see SFA players pretty much all throughout the season. USF, who had a really good year last year. McLean, 86-86. Okay, this team could be good again. Yusef Terry, probably the best wide receiver in the country. I mean, look at this stat line. 151 receptions, 2,200 yards, 23 receiving touchdowns. This guy went off last year. Getting yourself a good one if you go to this team. Their line is trash, though. Shoot, I missed a guy. Really good corners, though, surprisingly. Alright, now we are on to UTEP here. All right, UTEP. 72 overall quarterback. That's not going to get it done. Decent running backs. This team actually holds the record for the most conference championship appearances without a win at 3, I believe. So they often win their division, but they get smoked. This roster's bad, though. They're not going to be good. This was a popular pick a few years ago to get offers to other teams, but no one accepted it because this team's trash. UTSA. Martinberger, 75 overall, dog shit. This team sucks. I know this team sucks. Oh yeah, don't be this team. If you're looking at this like a few months later, do not be this team. Oh dear, this is bad. So Conference USA, they're stacked at the top, but there you have no depth in teams. Like, these teams are so bad. I guess, like, lots of people are just yoinking all the Texas players because that's where they all recruit. Like, they're getting the bottom of the barrel. But this is just downright bad. Poor UTSA, man. Bad team. Utah, this is a user. I picked you to win the Pac-12 this year. Do not disappoint me. Quinton Jackson, hopefully he stays healthy. He was out most of the year last year. Ricky Parks. Makai Coop, who was a freshman when they won the national championship. Remember, this team won it back in Season 8. One good thing about this team is you have a decent offensive lineman for the most part. Really good ends on defense. Middle is pretty good. Calvert, Tufunga, good linebackers. Really good linebackers. Really deep in the secondary. Yeah, your defense is what's probably get you the conference championship. I like this team. Utah State. '73 quarterback. This is another team that's probably going to be not worth your while to pick up. Just bad, bad, bad. You can pretty much tell what teams are on the rise and what teams are on a steep decline. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't touch this team with a 10-foot pole. All right, Vanderbilt, you are up, sir. $238.50. All right, so let's see your team. So quarterback-wise, nothing special. I think Motley has some great potential, but you might want to recruit somebody in the Discord, honestly. To replace this guy. Amir Dula, he is an SFA player and he is your starter. He has 95 speed. He's a really good player. Wide receivers here. You have Rashad Green, who's an SFA player as well. See, like, this team is not that bad. It's just you're in the SEC. That makes it bad, right? I mean, not gonna lie, you could probably use guys at every position, right? So, decent end, though. Woodrow Hamilton, SFA man in the middle. You're lacking depth in the middle of your defensive line. A good linebacker here. Middle linebacker, this is going to get better with time. Same here. You have young guys there. You might want to look into getting corners, but remember, corner is a universally weak position in this game. John Mitchell. You might want to look at getting safeties. New kicker. So, yeah, that's what you're working with. Not a bad team. Like, you have a lot of 80 overall players. Just, you're in the SEC, so it's going to be tough. Moving on. Quarterbacks. 85 overall. All right, this team's looking up. Bad. Some teams are really stacked at running back. Others are terrible at running back. This is one of those ACC teams that's up for grabs that I think will probably get a user at some point. I've always kind of thought going to Virginia could be a fun rebuild. I know Fink hates Virginia with all of his heart. This isn't that terrible of a starting out. Like, if you want to go to a Power 5, but you want your players to matter, this is a good team. You're going to struggle, but it's a fun team. All right, VT, Fink's favorite team, besides Wake. We're almost there. Quarterback, they are shit. They do have a running back though. Wide receiver looks all right, pretty deep. Pretty deep at tight end. This is an SFA player, Roderick. I believe he went down though. SFA kicker, Ricardo Lorenzo. Wake Forest. Let's see how this team improved. Quarterback, all right, they got above 80 overall. All right, they're above 80 overall. It's not that bad. Not that great at wide receiver. So this is I'm going to say this is a decent team. They're probably not going to be one win again like they were last year. Actually, I think they got 2 wins. Yeah, I think they ended up with 2 wins. Yeah, they're bad. Never mind. This team's booty. They used to have Alec Ogletree, but Iowa State yoinked him with a tamper. All right, so there's Wake Forest. Washington made the playoff last year. They had Clemson on the ropes. They had 2 defensive touchdowns to end the first half, but they just couldn't do anything on offense, and they lost. Sam Heward is back, though. Still really good. Expect this team probably to be in the hunt to win the Pac-12 again. They lost Pac-12 championship. One of the best teams last year. This is our 4th 99 overall. There's only 4 of them in the game this year. They still are kind of enjoying this this roster. They do lose their SFA players for the most part, though. Yeah, they lose all of them. But still a really good team. Watch out for Washington. Wazoo. Can Wazoo make some noise this season? Probably not. 44, 45. Xavier Ward, okay, they have a decent quarterback. That's what you need. Terrible running game, of course. Terrible receivers. So this is another team where if you want to make immediate impact, you go to Washington State. Center's disgusting. Not the worst defensive line. Okay, it could be worse. I mean, this team still clears Boise State. But yeah, this is probably not going to be pretty for the most part. Yeah, probably not going to be that pretty. West Virginia. I believe I might play them. I'm not really sure. I don't think so. Garrett Green, 85 overall. Nelson Spruce, my favorite college player of all time, Colorado Buffalo. Transferred from Wisconsin. He is now their starter. Pretty decent offensive line. I mean, this team kind of competed for... They got ranked last year for a little bit. This is a team where, like, I could see them playing way above their potential and pushing for a division, but also playing way below it and being terrible, despite having a decently balanced roster. Western Kentucky. '83 overall quarterback. Good wide receivers. I might be a little bit scared of this team. Yeah, I might be a little scared of this team. Oh, dear. Oh, I might be. Okay, the linebackers, that's bad. Okay, linebackers are bad. Okay, good. I can expose them with Heimlich. Yeah, okay. Alright. Alright. They're alright. Western Michigan. New user thinks terrible leftovers. This team is god-awful. You're going to probably be upset with this team. Sale pick, he's not that bad. He's your starter. He played a little bit last year. Snoop Todd, this is by far your best player. And Glenn Ewing, 2 SFA running backs for you, though. Both 90s plus speeds, so that's fun. You might want to run a run-heavy, not option, but a run-heavy playbook, because you have Henry Wilson still. Like, this team looks like they could push to be okay this year. Honorable, he's decent on your left tackle spot. You really need depth at your line for sure. On defense, it's not looking that bad. 80 overalls, mid to high 70s. Mickey Switzer, SFA player, starting for you right outside linebacker. Could use some corners, but it's not your biggest need. Oliver Waldorf, SFA player, starting. And then another... You know what? This team progressed pretty well. I'm going to say this team could potentially push for a bowl game if you get yourself in the right offense. Now, Wisconsin. Wisconsin. Kevin Utley now is their quarterback. Kim Stingley, SFA player. Jazz King in the slot, SFA player. Nick O'Leary, probably one of the best tight ends behind Eric Ebron, probably in the country. That's an SFA player, obviously. If you want to learn more about our SFA players, check out the History tab and the SFA player database. It has all these guys in there. You can see their full career, see the awards they won. Ed Davis, finally starting, SFA guy. If you're tired of hearing me say SFA guy, probably a top 5 player for me in the SFA. I love him dearly. Dechard Pippins, one of my favorite players. I was crushed when I wasn't able to sign him. Cornerback is my favorite position in football, so most of my favorite players are there. We got Joey Cool, SFA kicker. I like this team, but they're probably not going to do much. And we made it to the final team of the video. Terrible QBs. Terrible wide receivers. This team is booty cheeks, but they have one player. He's an SFA guy. He is so good. Oh, man, let me just... Dude, have we seen a 70 overall player? Holy shit. Is this... Okay, there's an 80, 70, okay. I guess defense, they don't recruit offense. 55 overall, middle linebacker. Disgusting. Alrighty. Here he is in all his glory. Alton Jackson, the 7-foot, 270-pound sophomore SFA player. Look at this man. He is a beast. He's a Team of the Year player. If you saw him, oh man, he's so good. I want to see him in person one of these days. Or I want him to transfer. Alright, so that's Wyoming. If you've stayed here, we made it through all of the players in the SFA, all 6,000, whatever. I'm going to quickly go through some of the top overall guys. So these are the top overall players in the country. I gave a preview of this during the season, but I'm just going to scroll here. I'm going to go to 95 overall just so you can see. And we're going to go check out some key positions if you want to look. All right, 95. Obviously, we've gone over all these players. Perfect. Now, the fastest players. We only have 5 people who are 99 overall speed. And this guy, Jeff Hester, he's a generated guy. So, yeah, so we'll go down, 98 speed. Okay, let's see. Who are the power backs? 3 power. Oh, dear. Why does Arnie Ronaldo have 99 break tackle? Okay. Carrying. Or catching. Here we go. 99 catching. Schultz, Doge, Heimlich, Eisenberg. Lots of 99 overall. Wow. So many people have it. What the hell? That's crazy. Throw power. Who has the best throw power? Quinn Ears. Jared Lorenzen. Yeah, this is what I'm looking at here. Okay. And then who has the best man coverage? A lot of 99 overall man coverage guys. You can look here. Zone cover. Lots of 99 overalls. Slow down the video if you want to see them all. And then highest injury rating, lowest injury rating is Jaden Ramsey. So yeah. All right. And then last thing I'm going to go is I'm going to scroll through the preseason polls. Some teams might be lower than you think. The top 25 is the preseason polls that I made that I already input into the game. But this is where you can see your team overall in the top right. I already showcased this in off season, but you can see your team overall. Coaches from now on will rank their teams accordingly. But if you need to see all team overalls, here they are. Cincinnati and Iowa, I believe, are going to be good. Oklahoma is down here a little bit. So, yeah. Yeah. We're almost done. Oh, man, it's a struggle. Ohio sucks. They're 67 overall. Wyoming's 68. Are we going to have anyone worse than a 67 overall? 70? 68? Couple 70s mixed in there. 68. 65 and 65. 2 worst teams in the country right there. All right. So, we got a 2-hour, 53-minute stream. If you made it this far in the video, thanks for watching. Timestamps in the description. Join the Discord. Blah, blah, blah. I'm out. I'm going to eat dinner. Fuck.